Hello and welcome to our podcast episode all about sleep. Now, sleep, I think, is massively underrated and undervalued, um, especially in the areas of when you're looking to improve fitness levels, when you're looking to improve your health, when you're looking to maybe diet and lose weight, lose fat. Sleep is often the area in our lives that we neglect and we don't see the benefits of what improving our sleep could have on those type of goals. Now, sleep has a big impact on brain function. So it has a big impact on our decision making. It can really impact our mood. And it also has a direct impact on appetite. Now, I think when it comes to sleep, we don't necessarily appreciate the benefits until we have that sleep taken away from us. If you think back to a time where you've had one night of poor sleep, or maybe two or three, maybe you've got a project to get delivered at work, or there's some kind of stress in your life, and you just have those one or two nights where you just can't get to sleep and you're worrying. And then you find that actually throughout the day, you see how detrimental that lack of sleep has to your life. Or those that are watching or listening, those that have got kids, can you remember back to when they were babies and that sleep deprivation? You just couldn't function straight. And times where you maybe have gone bed a bit later than normal, maybe you've visited friends over a weekend, maybe you've had a few drinks. The knock-on effect on that next day can be pretty horrendous. It can absolutely ruin it. So when we have sort of that acute level of, like I say, one or two, 3 nights of really poor sleep, we can see the difference. But what I think happens to a lot of us over a longer period of time is it's that slow levels of reduced sleep. Our sleep quality just ebbing away over months, over years. So we don't actually notice what an effect that's having. So firstly, so in terms of decision making, so brain function, if you are looking, especially to lose weight, then it's massively important that you can make the right decisions on a daily basis. Now, if you're having poor night's sleep, your ability to do that is affected. It's all to do with our prefrontal cortex, that part of our brain that deals with decision making. Now, if your focus is, if you're trying to diet, if your focus is impaired, if your decision making on what foods to eat and how to plan your day out is impaired, then that's going to affect how successful you are at dieting. There was one study around this where they took subjects, half of them they gave 4 hours sleep, and the other half they gave 8 hours sleep. And they found that the 4-hour sleep group ate, on average, 559 calories more than the 8-hour group, just from that impaired brain function and making those poor decisions. On top of that, like we've said, mood-wise, we've all been in that position where poor night's sleep, the next day you're really cranky, you can't be bothered to eat healthy, you can't be bothered to move, and you've got that lack of motivation and drive. So you think again, whether you're looking to start up an exercise routine, whether you're looking to move more or diet, if you're having poor night's sleep that are compounding day after day, week after week, you're thinking you're just a lazy, greedy glutton, when actually you're not setting yourself up for success because your sleep is so out that you're not in the right frame of mind, or you've not got that positive mood or energy level to actually put into making those changes. And changes that we've talked about before, changes are tough at the best of times, but if you've not got the energy, if your mood is not helped by that lack of sleep, you're not going to have that drive to carry on turning up on a day-to-day basis to implement those changes. So it's not a case, and then the self-talk comes in, we beat ourselves up thinking that it's something to do with us, when it can be something as simple as sorting our sleep out. And then appetite-wise, appetite's the other one where this is a physiological impact of lack of sleep from sort of a hormonal perspective. And this is where the two key players in this, the two key hormone players in this are ghrelin and leptin. So when ghrelin levels are high, we're hungry. When leptin levels are low, they don't suppress that hunger and we stay hungry. And the problem is with our lack of sleep, it increases that ghrelin production and it reduces the leptin. So it makes us physiologically more hungry when we have not had the sleep. So again, going down that route of we think, oh, I'm just rubbish, I'm so weak, I've fallen off the wagon again because I'm just hungry all the time. But if you looked in the right area, if you looked at your sleep, it could be a case that actually that is the problem over your lack of motivation or lack of willpower. So that can be the issue. I mean, I'm not talking to people who are getting a good amount of sleep, that are feeling energized every day, they've got a good positive mood and good drive to eat well, move more and exercise. This isn't for you. There might be a few tips that we come across that might help you out and help optimize your sleep a little bit more, but you seem to be in a good place. This is for people that if they were to track their sleep, they're having less sleep than is recommended. Now, the recommended amount of sleep is 7 to 9 hours. So what I would suggest, first of all, is to track and just see how much sleep you're having on a daily basis. So we're looking for 7 to 9 hours a day for an adult. Everybody's different. It's like everything. One person might feel great on 7 hours, another person might feel rubbish. So it's a case of, it's the Goldilocks argument. It's a case of being consistent. Again, like everything else, consistency is key. So if you're listening to this thinking, right, I think sleep could be a problem for me, I need to improve it. Let's say you track your sleep for a few days or a week and you see that actually you're only getting about 6 hours. Maybe try and push up to 7. See how you feel for a week or two at 7. If you're still not feeling brilliant, add another half an hour on. But it's a case to work out what consistent amount of time of sleep is good for you. Now, to give you some tips and ways to improve this that you can implement straight away, I've split this into 3 stages. So the stage number 1 is your pre-sleep routine. So this is the hour or two or the day leading up to bedtime. Now, the first thing to say is that exercise has been shown to improve your ability to get to sleep. So there was a study where they got people to exercise for just 30 minutes a day, and they found that they got to sleep in half the time than the subjects that didn't. Again, what works for one person might not work for another. So in terms of this, as a way to get you to sleep quicker, you might want to, it's going to be the time that you train and the type of training. So you might find that one person can go to the gym in the evening and then get home, and then within an hour they go to bed and actually they get to sleep really quickly, and that works for them. You might find that somebody else actually, the opposite happens. So that person might need to exercise a little bit earlier in the day. So there's not one size fits all here. So again, It's a case of trialing it out, being consistent with it, see which works. Same with type of exercise. You might find that somebody, a weights workout might improve the how easy it is for them to go to sleep. But somebody else, it might not work for. Somebody might get to sleep better after a HIIT session, and somebody else, it might keep them up. So again, you might want to look into the timing of your exercise and the type of exercise. The other thing with your pre-routine is, again, like we've talked about, you're looking to hit around about 7 to 9 hours. So you've got to think to yourself, what time are you going to bed? I'm sure there's a lot of us that I'd like to get into bed by a certain time, but I find myself downstairs messing about and I miss that cutoff point. You've got to commit to a time and get yourself sorted. So have in your mind what time you want to go to bed, and if you get to sleep by that time, what time do you then need to get up to get your 7 hours? And then from there, you're really looking to sort yourself out and start winding down an hour before that time. So for instance, let's say you're thinking, right, I'm going to go for 7 hours. I'm going to go to bed at 11 o'clock and I'm going to get up at 6. So you want to start winding down about 9:30, 10 o'clock. There's an hour leading up to that where you want to start winding down. You want to start, and it's easier said than done. I know it's the bane of my life at the minute is the phones, but it's the blue light on these things are just going to overstimulate you, and it's going to cause you to find it much harder to get to sleep and get into deep sleep. So what you want to do, a good hour before you're going to bed, you want to turn off your phone, turn off laptops, turn the TV off, get rid of all that sort of blue light and start winding down, start looking to calm down and start to relax. You might want to look into reading maybe in that hour before you go to bed. You might look at maybe a nice hot bath that's going to, again, help relax, and even maybe a hot drink or something, nothing caffeinated, but just start calming down and relaxing going into sleep. Try and avoid alcohol, try and avoid smoking. And again, it's make that routine that's going to get you prepared for sleep. And you want to be consistent with that. So stage 2 is your actual sleeping environment. So is your bedroom, the bed, and it's actually that sleeping time. So for this one, make sure that your alarm's set, make sure that you're consistent with what time you're going to get up in the morning. It's all about making the room as optimal for sleep as you can get it. So blackout blinds, make sure you've not got light coming into the room. In terms of your alarm clock, make sure, for mine, it glows quite a bit, so make sure you maybe turn your alarm clock to face the wall, so that's not going to interfere with your sleep. Temperature-wise, they do say 18 degrees as a general temperature for people to sleep in. But I do know I've chatted to quite a few couples where one of them likes it slightly warmer, one of them likes it slightly colder. Me and the missus, she's definitely warm, I'm cool. I like a nice cool bedroom. So again, the Goldilocks argument, find yourself, have a play around, find what temperature suits you to improve your quality of sleep. I know that some people who like it cool tend to be window side and maybe have the window slightly ajar to keep them cool. The other one who's warm might just need a throw or a blanket to keep them warm if you're two people that like different temperatures. There's always ways around that. The other one is noise. So if you live in quite a noisy neighborhood or whatever, dogs barking, all that kind of stuff, you may want to think about earplugs. Also, sort of white noise is a big, is quite popular at the minute. And it may be a case that in terms of talking about noise, you might get off to sleep and sleep a bit better when you're listening to calming, relaxing music to get you off. So maybe have something playing that will switch off after a length of time. Also, I know on my watch there's like a meditation or a breathing thing on my watch, which allows you to breathe in and out at a certain rate as it starts vibrating. So there's lots of different ways to hear things or just start to relaxing as you start to try and get into sleep. Also, a lot of people love the feel of fresh, clean sheets. So make sure you've got a decent mattress. You've got the toggle of sleep, the toggle of duvet that you want. Make sure your pillows are just right for you. And as well as sort of senses, as well as hearing, smelling, maybe a little smell of lavender. You can get sort of essential oils and burners and all kinds of things that can fill the room with a nice fragrance. And lavender is known to help you sleep. So all these elements get that bedroom right for you and conducive for you to have a good night's sleep and relax. So if you get the pre-sleep right, hopefully the actual sleep should work out. And then stage 3 is waking up. So it's a routine to get you prepped for sleep, but also the morning routine can be a big one as well. So first things first, do not press the snooze. I get caught up in this trap quite a lot. And you never fully get back to sleep. I mean, those extra, 9 minutes, a 9-minute snooze, never works. You never feel any better for it. So you've really got to commit to not pressing it. Just turn that alarm off and get up as quick as you can. It's sort of the opposite as well to melatonin is the hormone that increases as sort of darkness hits. Your melatonin levels will start to rise to put you in a nice, relaxed, sleepy mode. In the morning, we want to get rid of that hormone. We want that hormone levels to start dropping so we can feel more awake and alert. So the quicker you get the actual sunlight on your skin, the better. But also, I did, whether it's true or not, there's lots of studies out there and whatever, but what I did hear was, going back to the snooze button, sleep inertia. Apparently, we sleep in cycles, so we have 75 to 90 minute sleep cycles throughout the night. And what happens is, when the alarm goes off and we press snooze, it breaks, and then we go back to sleep. 9 minutes isn't enough for us to get through a cycle. And that is apparently one of the reasons where we then, after that, we get up feeling really groggy and not really with it. And I mean, there's other different ideas or reasons behind that as well. But you'll feel a lot better if you press the snooze and get straight up. If you keep pressing snooze, you're going to end up feeling pretty groggy and rubbish for anything up to a couple of hours, anywhere between 15 and an hour. So you want to get up as quick as you can, sunlight on your skin, get those feet grounded, but get yourself up. Also, I've heard, and I've started doing it fairly recently, is caffeine-wise, again, just to get your body to lower those hormone levels, flush it all out. Do not, or maybe try not having caffeine for 45 minutes to an hour of waking up to get you fully awake and just naturally geared up for the day. So you might want to try that. I go decaf for my first sort of drink or two in the morning, and I try to leave it at least 45 minutes to an hour till I have my caffeine. Try it. Again, if it works for you, brilliant. If you don't really see any benefit, then don't worry about it. So again, like I say, just to repeat again, like consistency is key, like anything. Be consistent in the way that you get yourself prepped for bed. Be consistent in how you have in your bedroom. Be consistent in your morning routine. So yes, to recap, Sleep can have a big impact on brain function and mood, but also a direct impact on appetite. So to increase your quality of sleep, look to be consistent, like I've said. So your lead up to bedtime, be consistent with that routine. It might take you a few weeks of tweaking to get it right, but once you've got it, be consistent. B, sleeping conditions. Find what works for you in terms of whether you like a bit of music or something to get you off to sleep, getting your darkness and your temperature levels right, but find the conditions that suit you and stick with them. And then, yes, that wake-up routine. The consistency as well. Our body has got a natural rhythm, a circadian rhythm, and it likes routine. So try and be consistent with that routine that you create. I hope some of those tips help you and you can implement them as soon as you come off this podcast. If you're watching me on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Or if you're listening on the podcast, please rate and share us. If you have any questions whatsoever, pop them in the comments below on YouTube, or you can direct messages on socials. We're on Facebook and Instagram as Realize Fitness. Thanks for listening. Until next time.